All right, good morning, everybody. Beautiful day outside. Let me show you what I'm doing today. I wasn't going to video this, but I figured it's pretty cool. So we do a lot of like wheel alignment stuff because, you know, if you bring your hot rod or something to a wheel alignment place, they don't know how to do it because they only could go by whatever their machine, you know, they punch it into their little computer and it spits out what they got to do. So we get a bunch of these. This one is pretty cool, so I figured I'd video this one and show you the process, but this thing is pretty cool. So you check that out, right? Look at it and you're like, oh, all right, Roadrunner. But this Roadrunner has a Hemi in it. Big old Hemi. Beautiful car. Local car here. Oh yeah, nice, beautiful. So they just put it back together, put a whole new front end stuff in it. So we're going over all that and basically starting from scratch. So I'm going to show you the process of what I do and how I go about doing it. So you could do this on the ground. You could do it up here. A little bit easier right now to do it on the lift because I'm going to raise it up and make sure everything's tight, because don't go by what people tell you because you never know if they left something loose. So we're going to check all that first. I just checked the air in the tires. So you got to, like, right off the bat, no matter what, you're checking the air in the tires. So you got all different kinds of, this one had 20, the other one had 15. This one only had like maybe 8 or 9 pounds of air in it. I'm sorry, the other one did. This one had like 15. So this one over here looked like it was almost flat. When I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right. So that one only had like 8 or 9 pounds of air or whatever it had in it. All right, so right now, air in the tire is all set. Pumped up the front ones to about 35 and the back ones to like 30. All right, so these are, I believe they're radials on there now. I'm not sure, but I didn't look at that. But those are drag radials, obviously. So heavy car. I'm sure this thing weighs over 4,000 pounds. With that motor in it, this big old body this thing got. So, like I said, check the air in the tires first. I started moving it. That's when I decided to video this and go through this with you guys. So I'm centering the car on the lift first, and then I'm going to put the pads under it, right? Like I said, you could do this on the ground, put the pads under it, just block the wheels, put it in park. And then once it's centered on the lift and on there, then I'll center the steering wheel. This is an automatic car, by the way. Got a roll bar and stuff in it. It's old school, but it's old school cool, man. So these cars are really nice. Cars are in nice shape. So you center the steering wheel. Once the steering wheel's centered, then you go under there and we're gonna string it, get all our measurements, and make sure that it's all squared up. Set the wheel, so the wheel's sitting like this, right? We're gonna make sure the wheels are good this way. We're gonna make sure the wheels are straight this way. And then we'll make sure that it turns, and we'll come back in here and make sure the steering wheel's straight. And 99.9% of the time, it'll go right down the road perfect. All right, let me get started getting this thing centered up on a lift. All right, so we got it centered up a little bit. I'm gonna go up in the air and check all the front end and make sure all the bolts and stuff are where they're supposed to be. And then loosen up what we need to loosen up so we can make all our adjustments. All right, so I went through all these. All these bolts are good. They're all nice and tight. I did notice that all the joints are all dry, so I'm gonna grease the front end like there's nothing in these. All right. I'm gonna grease up the front end. This way we'll make sure it's all good. And then we're gonna loosen up these two and these two, and that's your tie rod ends, right? So we can adjust them. And then we're gonna go up on top and set the camber. Make sure that's right first. Okay. All right, so I got the bolts, these bolts loosened up, right? And then I'm gonna, usually what I'll try to do is, so you got the slot in them, right? These are super tight, so I'm gonna put some this one's loose. That one's tight. So I'm gonna get some penetrating oil and just let it roll in there on both sides actually. And let that soak while we work on the top. All right, so I got the little hubcap off here. Put a level on it, digital deal. I don't know if that's recording, but so it needs to come out like that. So, I mean, even looking at it. So the wheel needs to come out on the top. The other one needs to come out just a hair on the top. But this one needs to come out. All right, I'm gonna check them both again, make sure they're right. All right, so we got the wheel off. Thing is really nice under here. Everything is very nicely detailed. All right, so we got the jack under there, a nice rag supporting everything, making everything all nice and clean. We don't want to get nothing dirty. So this way, this is what happens with these. So the bottom adjustment, there's no adjustment for the bottom. Okay, so everything's done from the top. So on this setup, let me see if I can show you this. So you got an eccentric washer, right? An eccentric on there, and an eccentric in there. So you get these little access holes. So you loosen up the nut right there. You turn the outside one, right, that in there, and that'll move this in and out or in and out, however you want to do it. So basically, right now, this needs to come straight out. So both of them at the same time need to come out. Okay, so we're gonna loosen them up, and you got to do it with the wheel off because there's no room, there's no way to get in there. So we're gonna check it out and get it all set up here. All right, let's see if I can. So right now, that's how they're pointing, right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this eccentric down so that this arm comes out. So if you watch what happens with that. So as I turn this, that arm comes out. Get a socket for the other one and see how that works. And then we'll put the wheel back on and measure it out. All right, let's check it again. This is second attempt for this side. And it is 0.3. Okay, so that's like super close enough. The other side, the other side is 1.6. So the top of this has to go in. All right, so we got one side set. And now I'm going to take the wheel off and make sure it's tight, because they were loose to start with, so they changed them, so we want to make sure they're tight. So that this side is set, but I'm going to tighten it up, lock it in place. This is done, and then we'll go do the other side. All right, .03. 0.03. So that's as good as it's gonna get right there. That is like on the money. So now we're gonna make sure the wheel's straight. I'm gonna strap it into that spot so it don't move, and then we're gonna go set the toe in, toe out. All right, so we got my stuff all set up so I can get under the car. That's why it's easier to do it on the lift, but if you're doing it on the ground, same thing. When I do it on the ground, I string it up and I just get the back wheels. You got a string tied to the back, come across the tire, and where you got to just, so it's just touching the tire. And then I got this contraption I made that goes across here, so I got where it goes, so it doesn't matter where the tires are. A lot of times the tires are either sitting too far in or too far out. Doesn't really matter. So you got this set up right here, and you got that set up right there. So now we go back underneath, take a tape measure. Tape measure don't lie. You're measuring from here to the side of the wheel or side of the rim, whichever you want. I usually do it at the side of the tire and then check the rim again. And you want to make them start off being even, and then you want this pointing just about a 1/16 of an inch in on each side. All right, so that's what we're going to do next. All right, that's that. So we tightened all this up. I turned this bolt around so they're both facing the same way. That one ends up there, those end up there. Those are all tight. And I'm gonna do the grease. Grease the front end. Everything moves pretty good. Everything's tight. And we got everything into spec. Within a 1/16, like I said here, and a 1/16 over there. Pointing in so that it tracks straight. Steering wheel still straight. And we're good to go. So we'll be picking it up, take it for a ride. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's rare that they're not. I mean, the tape measure don't lie. String and tape measure never lie. So always works. All right, so that's basically the end of that one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you like the videos. And just another little quick one on this nice, cool car.